Go for it.
3.
All right. Again, adventures, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tears of the Realms. Yes, this is our strange Cypher System powered RPG set in our weird, kind of customized version of the Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom flavor of Hyrule, and the people below me are the people that have just leveled up to tier 2 and are super excited about all the cool stuff that they can do.
Heck yeah!
You might say we've tiered up.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Would we?
I found that one gross.
Good.
Feel weird. Announcements. Probably because we are in the tabletop RPG realm, I feel that it is necessary for me to say that yesterday was a very, very famous birthday. Bob Uecker is now 90 years old. And for those of you who don't know who Bob Uecker is,
Yeah, very famous.
The Brewers. Bob Uecker is the voice of the Brewers. He's a really awesome dude. He was in the 2 Major League things. No, the real birthday, Dungeons and Dragons turned 50 yesterday. Yesterday was the release date of the original boxed set of Dungeons and Dragons.
How
Crazy.
how long were you planning that joke?
What, the Bob Uecker thing? Since yesterday.
Okay, yeah.
Bob Uecker is a national treasure.
National
He's
to your
amazing.
specific region, yeah. Okay.
No, because he was also in the movie's Major
shade,
League.
Elias. Let the sun come out before you throw.
Sun's out.
So guns out?
Not yet.
Bob Uecker is a national treasure, and for baseball fans in general, they will probably recognize his voice. He coined the "just a bit outside."
Your
Wild.
impression is extremely well done.
He's a national treasure, and he's a wonderful person as well. And he is still at 90 years old. He is still recording calling games. I can't remember what they call it anymore, but he's still broadcasting Brewers games.
Speaking of D&D, did anyone else see the You Meet in Malta event?
No.
I would love to do it, but I ain't got time.
So Omar is one of the guest people. So now a bunch of people who live in LA and the LA region are going to meet Omar for the first time in Malta.
Sorry.
Nice.
That's
Leave it to Omar to find a way to meet
fucking
people for the first time in another country.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
On
And
brand.
So on brand.
Yeah.
Curie, we should
That was
go
my
and pretend
major
like we're
takeaway.
meeting him for the first time.
Oh my god, that's so tempting.
Honestly, I'm in for it.
You know what? Let's look at prices. Probably can't, but let's do it. Just to be like, oh my god, are you Omar? I've heard so much about you.
Are you that guy from that Vine short film series?
They talked about making having people come and make different houses. So like the House of Abria.
Aw.
We could do that for Omar. Like, oh my god.
Basically,
Of House
the House of
Omar.
Omar would basically be kind of like the House of Worlds, where it just kind of shows up randomly and then disappears, and it's kind of connected to everything, but nobody knows why or how.
Omar is a Time Lord.
Apparently.
Confirmed by Jody.
It would, to be 100% honest, it would not surprise me if Omar was some kind of nth dimensional being. Because the amount of times, I've interacted, both Omar and Mia as well is a wonderful, wonderful person. And I've interacted with both of them, and we have made plans, and they have never happened.
That is not anything against you.
No, and it's
No.
not anything
Okay.
against Omar either.
No, I just want to say,
that's
that's
just how that's just
Look,
how they
I was
work.
supposed to see him for Christmas and that didn't happen either. So
He is a freaking Time Lord.
yep.
The TARDIS shows up and he's there, and then it goes and he's not. Anyway, so yeah, 50 years of RPGs, because every single RPG in existence can trace its roots back to Dungeons and Dragons. So the fact that it is officially 50 years old now is a huge, huge deal. And nothing that you have seen for the past 6 years would have happened without Dungeons and Dragons existing. So hooray for that.
Whew.
Do we
I have one.
oh cool. What is yours then?
I'm streaming tomorrow because Pokemon cards are coming in today, and new binders, because I'm out of binder space for Pokemon cards, are coming today. So, and I have a top-down camera thingy.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So I already did one stream with Pokemon cards with it, and other than the autofocus on the webcam, it works really well.
Ellie is very fancy.
Oh, I've been getting so many things, and it's a problem because I have no money. So go watch my stream and give me money so it can keep buying Pokemon cards that I can't afford.
Feed my unhealthy addiction. No, I love you so much.
if only we had like the media director of ZU or the Twitch director on, and they could tell us about any announcements going on for ZU.
That has nothing to do with what Ilea just said. How dare you?
No, but I will continue talking.
Too bad. It's a
to,
shame you don't have that. Yeah, that's weird.
I figured
That's
out how to
embarrassing for you.
record vertically with my webcam, so I can record the TikToks on my computer too. now.
I love how every single start of Realms Jody says that, and dude, like, yeah, that would be nice.
They're like, nope.
That's it.
We used to be much more organized. Like there was a little website I would go to that would give me all the announcements that I was supposed to know, and we stopped using that like 2 years in.
It was terrible to maintain.
But it was briefly used.
Well, it was used for like 2. I mean, that's a good
Yeah.
product lifeline. Time something I don't know.
I miss the MVP
Time
pool.
is a good life.
Both times that we used it. Do we have anything going on in ZU right now?
You got this, Lex.
Oh, thanks. We don't have a ton going on at the moment. We're just doing a lot of internal kind of like working on a couple things, getting some stuff prepped for the future.
Start of the year in general is boring
things
outside the company and very interesting inside the company.
Unless you're me, and then my outside of the company things have been very wild. If you happen to be in the Bay Area in May, I won't say why at the moment, but
Or June.
maybe keep that open if you happen to be anywhere by Fanime or just happen to be in the Bay Area.
Will there be Oreos involved?
I can make it happen.
I'm flying back at the end of May. So
Good. The rest of you will know in due time when I am allowed to announce it. So tune in.
surprises.
I had a friend in another chat that we were just kind of talking about things, and we somehow got on the topic of how $1 million doesn't go nearly as far as it used to. And they just made a comment in the chat, well, I really only, need to be taken care of for a little bit, and just left it at that. And so my response was, so you can finish your plan to take over the world? And their response was, no. So who knows? We may have,
Does that mean it was a yes?
World ruler in 6 months to a year. Who knows?
Do they have $1 million?
No.
The 13-year-old boy in my head is alive and well because USEP doesn't go as far as it used to. And my first thought was, neither does your mom.
I
appreciate you, Carrie, so much.
All right, so
Apparently like an Irish 13-year-old boy.
It's too early for this.
The quiz of the year. When Richard Iowati and
Another name I absolutely recognize.
what?
yeah, but was it your mum?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it your mum?
But it was your mum.
Sir, I saw your mum She was crying.
Yes.
She was buying the furniture. She was
She
buying
was in the
cheap
furniture
shit.
section.
She was buying the cheap shit. Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was your mom.
It was your mum, right? It was your mum. It was your mum.
Oh, my face hurts.
Everybody, go watch Big Fat Quiz of the Year after this is over because we're almost as entertaining as they. So I believe that should take care of all the announcer moments.
Yep.
So it is time for us. Thank you, phone.
Hey, shout out the phones.
I've had a couple times where I've been recording a video and I left my phone on my bed and an alarm will go off and I just kind of sit there going, this is going to get copyright stricken now because I use songs for my alarms. Damn it. All right. It is time for us to return to the Tears of the Realms. The library is closed. After arriving in the Library of Forgotten Knowledge, the party proceeded to have a meeting with the Supreme Council of the library, where they were informed that the world was more likely than not going to end. And the solution that the library normally took was to close the library for around 100 years as everything settled, and then return to actively collecting the knowledge. However, Aino and the rest of the party decided that this was not acceptable, and they did not want the world to end. Because of that, they came into conflict with the ruling council, and the council decided to consider the suggestion of allowing them to leave to hopefully stop the end of the world. When they arrived back at their quarters that were assigned to them, Aino sent a key off to eavesdrop on a meeting between Johan, Aino's protector, and one of her parents, where they discovered he was attempting to convince the council to allow them to leave, and was also unsuccessful. At that point, Eki possessed Aino for her protection and helped the party to escape from the library by teaming up with Johan and causing significant amounts of chaos. As they were leaving, Johan attempted to convince Aino to stay and let her friends save the world on their own. But Aino was unable to leave her new friends. So she was told in 2 years to return to the library, and Johan would find a way to open the doors once again. The party trudged through the snow, eventually coming to a small village where they sat down, had a nice warm meal, and then were suddenly called outside by one of the children, who said something was happening in the sky. When they got outside, they saw one of the tears was flashing and then exploded into what looked like thousands, perhaps tens of thousands, of tiny shards of light raining down across all of Hyrule. And that is where we return. So, kind of get us back to where we were. Give me just a second here because I have to get a list up. So yeah, we were. Oh, sorry, doing 7 different things at once. So, you guys were in this inn, kind of enjoying a meal, and then as you went outside again, you saw one of the tiers kind of flashing extremely bright, and then it just exploded, and you guys can see the shards of this tier just kind of falling all over Hyrule. You can actually see from where you are, the tier itself was technically over Eldin and Death Mountain and that whole area over there. But you can see the shards themselves seem to be traveling great distances. You can actually see within probably about maybe half a mile, you can see a few of the shards look to have landed somewhat nearby. So what would you all like to do?
Since they've all sort of fallen, and since there are some somewhat nearby, can we feel anything from them, or do our tier gems, like, are they resonating at all? Like,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If
Or
if
Applebee's
you,
buzzer.
yeah,
Yes.
if you look at your Applebee's buzzer, you will notice that your table is ready.
Mm.
If you look at
That
your tier
was
walking
scary,
gems,
Yeah, I was like, that was
Yeah.
eerily accurate, and it actually made my teeth.
Yeah, that caused anxiety.
Sorry.
that was really good.
if you look at your tier walking gems, they are registering teardrops. Somebody about half a mile is a little bit outside their range, but the huge explosion resonated with your tier walking gems.
So it's just going off everywhere right now, basically,
Yeah.
for a little while.
Do you remember what happened the last time we encountered a teardrop in a bar? Might not be a good thing that's raining down over
That sounds
all
like
of
the start of a
Hyrule.
joke.
Well, we also found some in the forest. Granted, they, I think, were like placed there or something. But
Yeah, but like how it interfered with the people in that bar.
well, yeah, but you
area,
know,
so.
we can't quickly. I mean, look how many just spread out over Hyrule. Like that's.
I know, that's why I'm saying, like, as checks, that this is gonna
Oh,
be
sorry.
Yeah, no accents,
I
checks.
forgot you have an accent.
How could you forget? It's very biting.
Hey, is anyone else's? Hang on, I got this. I got this.
You're
I
welcome,
got
Jen.
this.
He froze.
It is the tier walking
Oh, God.
gem.
It's weird. It's almost like I called it its actual name.
Oh my
I know that's
god!
And not the
Very rare.
Applebee's buzzer.
Okay, hang on.
We're
For tier
so
walking gem,
still. We both thought you had frozen.
Wouldn't be the first time.
well, I'm a very skilled
Honestly.
individual.
Man
Uh,
played a Goron. He's very good at being still.
Just be a rock.
For tier walking gem, I put special crystals that let us traverse tiers, but they are all also the things that let us find teardrops.
Yes, that's
Yep.
what resonates.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are
Resonates
multi-purpose.
when teardrops are near.
I'm just waiting for the question because I already know Dilly's response.
What question?
You were about
Your
to ask
mum.
a question. Yeah.
What was I?
What was
Oh.
it, your mum, sir?
I don't know. I lost my train of thought whenever I looked at the. I
You
had
were
to consult
saying,
my tier key.
is anyone else's?
Oh,
tier
sorry.
walking
Yes. Is anyone else feeling cold? No. Is anyone else's tier walking gem buzzing in excitement right now?
yeah.
So Dilly is gonna try and feel for it, and then just go around in circles like a dog chasing their tail, since it's attached to their hair.
Can't
How
see
long
the
is their
hair
hair
to their
again?
whole head.
Actually, about this length.
Okay.
Currently, yay. There was wish fulfillment in that part of the design.
It's not really showing me a direction. It's just kind of like going off.
Yeah. Is that you guys did notice a few that landed, like I said, about a half mile away.
You said that was too far for to pick up specifically, right?
Yeah, so it's not that the tear walking gem would point you to it right now.
It's
You
just our
literally
eyesight,
saw
yeah.
them fall. The kid that originally kind of brought you out here goes, "Daddy, can we go get the shooting star?" It's very
Hey,
late, honey.
what's your name? I'm looking at the kid.
Lisa?
Lisa. Here's the thing. The bits of the giant glowing thing in the sky that fell all over Hyrule just now. For a lot of people, those are very dangerous to get nearby. So if you were to go retrieve one of those specific kinds of shooting stars, you might get hurt.
How
And
old is this kid?
Zorai is going to lean
Like
over towards
4.
I know and be like,
Great.
he doesn't know how to talk to children, does he?
Literally just causing future nightmares for this kid.
so, how about, since we are actually trained to go deal with these kinds of shooting stars, we go investigate it, and if it's something that you can safely play with, we will give it to you. But it probably won't be, just to manage your expectations, and we want to make sure that you're safe.
Zorai is going to go and kind of like push Adesh
Your
back as he starts to
expectations
explain this.
To a 4-year-old.
Yep. It's like, all right, do you see those glowing shooting stars? They're really bad for us, actually. But we will try to find one that's safe. And if we do, we can bring it back for you. How about that?
The father comes over and goes, "Honey, I think it's time for bed. Why don't you go inside and I'll
Poor child.
I
deal
know.
with this later." And as they go in, he just kind of gives you this 1,000-yard stare as he walks back in with his child. Didn't I tell you not to talk to strangers as they go in?
Hey, he welcomed us
It's
into his
actually-
home.
Yeah.
Acted like Santa Claus.
he welcomed you into his place of business.
It's, into his building.
It's actually a good thing for little children to interact with strangers. So don't not let them say hi to people. It's great for their development.
Safely.
This is actually
Safely.
Yeah.
But let the person in the store wave at your baby. It's very important, and to say hi to them. It's
Aw.
ridiculously important. You have no idea. Most people don't realize that. Anyway,
Does that
sorry.
mean I should wave to every baby I see?
You should.
Yes.
Honestly, you should. Yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
I love that you were trying to go in there and be facetious and you were just shut down. Like,
You're like, yes, Elias, you need to be friendly to the babies.
I like this.
You need to
Oh my
create
God.
better human beings by being
A
A
better human being.
Who would have
no,
thought? Being
just by waving to them.
Sometimes it can come
Saying
off as
hello.
creepy, which is why I asked.
Well,
that
don't
would be a
spend
very
10 minutes
that'd be a
staring down
very
at
interesting
me.
conversation.
I can see
What are you
Elias.
doing to my
Hi,
baby? Well, actually, from a psychological and child developmental perspective, waving at random babies is actually better for their intellectual.
Apparently, that's how Adesh would explain it.
Yes, it is.
Love that for him.
So that being said, what do you all want to do?
Go back inside, put on my
Okay.
giant fluffy coat, come back
Right.
outside.
Adesh looks like a panda.
I'm.
But
I
with
can't
that,
remember
with that
if I
deep cut.
gave Motto
with
a
a
coat.
V-net.
Yeah, Motto has gear. Motto-
Okay, cool. I'm gonna put. I don't know if Motto's been spending some time fiddling with something at the table, and then just kind of puts it in a pocket of the coat, and comes out and then just kind of gets ready to go.
should we get to Terrell? That
It's
seems
just
like
half a
this is-
mile.
I know. Well, I mean, yeah, but
I'm guessing. I mean,
wait,
a few of them just look pretty close.
there's a way for us to get back to base, right? We were given that.
No.
Okay.
You were brought out here by Arel.
Yeah.
And since you're no longer in the library, you have an ability to.
Yeah, but I say it was your
Contact Terrell.
ability to contact.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I just couldn't remember if. Oh no, it was. We were given something by Kess.
We've given a
You
lot
were
of things by Kev.
back in Kakariko. You guys are given basically a communication device
Yeah.
to contact her that would have been taken back because she needed it when you guys first returned to the Tears Core.
Okay. Thank you.
So
Like, I know
currently,
we have
your only way to
something here.
contact is
Terrell.
through Arel.
Okay.
Who hopefully has not been exiled yet.
Yeah,
Exiled.
Even if she has been, I can still reach her.
yeah. I mean,
Oh, that's right. She can sneak us in.
so say having Arel exiled simply means that she doesn't use the front door,
Yeah.
which 9 times out
Ayo.
of 10 she already doesn't. So
A mood.
Yes, she is.
Always. And
I'm going to
for,
ask this again.
Sorry.
What would you all like to do?
I thought we were.
You guys have gotten
I think we're
into your
going to-
snowsuits,
Checking out the nearby tiers.
which I learned relatively recently, like in the last 3 or 4 years. Getting into snowsuits and snow clothes is not a universal experience.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Some of us
We're not gonna
live.
do that in San Diego. Surprisingly.
Some of us live in places that don't get under 30 degrees.
In
Some
Southern
of us
California, raised in
live there
Houston,
and would
Texas.
still- Some of us live there and then would still go to the snow anyways.
We're not
Some of us
counting
are
us
walking
in the
towards that
NorCal.
fallen tier because
Cool. Thank you. I know.
Every time
You
I
guys
go
want-
to snow,
everyone-
I basically have new clothing and equipment because it happens so rarely.
Ayo.
I had 46 years of clothing for the snow in a house.
I've had
So-
46 years worth of experience with the snow.
So
Okay.
as you guys are all trying to
Otherwise-
figure out how to put your snow pants on, Ino starts trudging through the snow
No, we're
with
all
a
going
key
to-
kind
Yeah,
of
we're all
bouncing
going.
around her.
Yeah,
We've been in our snow stuff
I
for a
was
while.
born in the snow.
Amazed by it.
trying to
as
exit them.
as this is happening and as we're walking, I'm gonna walk with Dilly, and just be like, so how far do you want the thing you want me to work on to actually go?
How far could it go?
I don't know. I can put a bunch of mechanisms in it and we could see how far. I
Private
mean,
So
conversation.
we can make like a compound version of
Still
it?
talking ambiguously.
sure, we'll figure that out. I don't know.
Yes, yes. And Dilly is going to keep talking with Motto as they go.
That's slightly alarming.
What's alarming?
Dilly's still talking to Muddo.
Yeah, they do that.
just the talking in general.
We're also talking right now. I
Anyone
talk to everyone
talking to
else.
Motto apparently is a problem. We're just like, why are you giving Motto the time?
Conversation with motto, red flag.
Gross.
I think it's Soraya's just like favorite thing to make fun of Muddo. So I'm sorry, Lex.
It's fine.
So as you guys are going, after about 10-ish minutes, your tier walking gems start kind of going off, and you guys can see it. It seems like kind of a cluster of these things have fallen. So we're gonna do it this way.
Just let us know
That's the
when
best
our
sign.
Chili's buzzer goes off.
Our Chili's buzzer has been going crazy.
Adash, choose even or odd.
Even.
That's not terrifying at all.
Nope.
All right. So
I'm sure nothing will come of that.
I take 70 acid damage.
400 courage points.
420
Just-
damage.
So as you are going, I get to make one more roll.
Oh no.
Wow. As you guys are going, you can't see exactly where all of them found, but you do find one specifically. And what you find is
An 80.
Danger.
an 80, yes. And an 80 is... That's interesting.
Oh, that's fun.
No, I don't like
It's
whenever
not
you roll
interesting.
something and you say it's interesting. Don't like that.
Mm.
One
Hate it.
phrase your DM should never say.
Not a fan.
Very okay. So, you find the following cipher or teardrop. Sorry, it is level 3, and I will put the text into chat, but I will also read it.
Into which chat?
Thank you.
This
Game
chat.
Yeah, into Roll20 chat, which is the chat I prefer you guys use because I actually have that chat open.
Sorry,
so-
we have 3 chats open.
Yeah. Stasis Keeper. Puts a subject into stasis for a number of days equal to the cipher's level or until it is violently disturbed. An object in stasis does not age and comes out of the stasis alive and in the same condition as it went in, with no memory of the period of inactivity. So you guys found a limited use Pokeball.
But is the cipher actually 80
What?
power?
I almost took stasis as my ability.
Congrats! Now you get it for
It
free.
was in the top 4.
Well, this is a one-time use of that ability, but...
Hey, test ground. Maybe you can get it for your next skill.
So, as you guys are wandering around, you guys find a strange crystal like thing, and as you get close to it, you instantly kind of get this realization of what it actually does. It looks
Cool.
very similar to Nairu's love from Ocarina of Time. A
Yeah.
little crystal, blue crystal.
I never used the blue or the green ones. What does that one do again?
It basically makes you impervious in Ocarina,
Yeah.
Huh.
and then the green one lets you kind of teleport back to places. I used it to get back to LaGuardia.
So when it puts into
Inspire was
stasis,
the only one people used.
it just like freezes them in place for that number of days, right?
Doesn't freeze them in place. It effectively puts them in stasis. They're
Right.
still
There,
able to.
Pokeball.
You're
And
still
it's level
able to move
3,
them.
so 3 days.
It puts
Yes,
them
for 3
inside
days.
the teardrop.
It puts them in stasis.
Right.
Their body is in a state of stasis.
Right.
It freezes them,
Right.
but
No,
they
they
can
don't-
still be moved.
Right. Okay.
They're
You're
not
talking about
actually-
like a Pokeball makes it think like they're absorbed into it or something. We carry them around.
They have
that's
And
not-
you can carry them around. They're just full size.
Yeah, in stasis. Okay.
They went
For
in a
3 days.
Pokeball. It's like, it doesn't matter if you're alive when you go in. If we chuck you to the bottom of the sea,
And what was this one called?
you're not going
It's
to be where you
true.
come out 3 days later.
Yeah.
It is called a stasis something. Give me a second.
Horrible things I've said out
Stasis
loud.
Keeper.
That's not the worst.
Oh, Kiri. Yeah, it's
I
not
had
the
a
worst.
conversation 2 years ago about
if
2
anyone-
days ago about how to eat an elephant.
If anyone wants
top
to
down?
take that, go ahead and put it on your character sheet. And remember, you have a maximum number of ciphers that you can carry at any, or teardrops that you can carry at any given time.
I can take this if no one else wants it.
Careful.
That sounds like you want it. So I'm
But you
going
don't
to give
want
it to you.
selfish.
Okay. Stasis
No one else wants it.
thing.
Keeper.
Level 3. Stasis Keeper.
Not to be confused with the Trapper Keeper.
Love our group.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a tier that we got. Is that the only thing from the wreckage?
It's a teardrop.
Is the tier
That was the only one you
Dropped
guys
from
were
the
able
tier.
to find because I rolled remarkably low for the number of tiers drops that you found.
Okay. But the tier that used to be up there is no longer there.
It has exploded.
What? So the tier prime at Sukoramala, that was the largest tier by far in the sky, right?
Absolutely.
Um,
Yes, I know.
Am I correct that we've never seen one of these explode before?
This is absolutely a first time.
So then, up until this point, we had no idea that the tears could have possibly come, the teardrops could have come from the destruction of a tear.
Yes.
Or the implosion.
You knew that
Okay.
they were connected in some way, but you didn't know how.
Okay, that now changes so much. Okay.
So
And this
And
wasn't
that's-
Etsu Koromaru. It was that exploded. It was some other tier.
yeah, a much smaller tier.
Okay.
Upsetting, really, because wouldn't we just like that to be gone?
Well,
now
So
we're on
Des,
the
you
other
were in
end.
the middle of saying something before I interrupted you.
well, I was going to ask, like, basically that if this was like the smallest tier in the sky, or like what did it range?
It was on the smaller side. It wasn't the absolute smallest.
Okay.
But on a scale of like 1 to 10, this is probably like a 2 or a 3.
Okay. Well, I say we take this back to the lodge, and if you are up for it, I know, you let us know whatever you were able to glean from Johann about the end of the world.
I think it might be better at this point to go back to base
I mean, that
instead of
works
just
too,
the lodge.
right? But that's, a long way away, and Arel is nowhere to be found.
Also,
No, I can contact Aunt Rel.
if this
any point.
exploded, and we just found that motto has, that means there's a lot of other ones.
Yes.
It might also be better specifically to not bring anyone else who could be in earshot of what's going on, because otherwise that's going to cause more panic. If we're at the base, at least it's people who
Are
are.
you worried about
know,
the kiddies dropping?
I'm worried about not just the kid, but also like the adults.
I'm worried about the kid finding one of these and touching it.
Well, we took the
kids
only
all
nearby
over
one.
Hyrule.
I personally think it's not. I think it's better to go back to base. I actually agree. I agree with Zariah here. We should go
Alright.
back, keep all this away from people that could start like panicking and causing even more like.
See, but
So,
these
wait.
spread out all over Hyrule. Everyone everywhere right now is looking at these and finding these. Panic is happening now everywhere.
So wait, Moldo agrees with me. I don't think it's a good idea. Maybe we should stay.
Oh come on! I can't win with you, Zariah.
Zariah, as you
I think that's how
say
she
that,
likes it.
you suddenly feel this very kind of awkward feeling, and you get this strange sense of fear, and you realize Arel is looking for you.
Zarya's going to go in her mode to communicate with her.
And this kind of communication is not particularly robust. It's basically kind of like a ping system.
Right.
And so you kind of
She's going to ping
and,
back.
Pong.
Within like a minute of that happening, you guys suddenly see the air itself around you get very, very quiet, and the ambient light from the stars and the tears and everything just kind of dims for a second, and suddenly Arel is stepping out, going, "Oh, you all saw that, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we need to get as many of those as possible. What, Terrell?
Just side note here. I know, great to have you back. You didn't do that, right?
No, not this time.
It just happened. We saw it happen like you did, apparently.
Yeah, it was weird.
Okay, well, Kess would like everybody back. Like now.
Very demanding, that Kess, but yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Well, the rest of us kind of agree with her. Like, Aruna was the first one to do, "Oh, hey, maybe we should bring everybody back because this seems like really weird." And I was like, "Yeah, that seems like a really nice thing, Rock Husband." Then he looked at me kind of weird because I don't tend to call him Rock Husband very often. But
Yeah. We'll dissect that later. But yeah, he's a wise man. We should.
So,
She calls him her cuddle rock.
Don't worry, I see you, Carrie.
See nothing.
so group hug, everybody. And she just kind of opens her arms.
And,
Oh, Kess is so demanding, but Aruna's so wise.
Dry's just gonna go immediately in and just like hug her around her waist because she couldn't
Okay.
contact her, and so she was also kind of worried.
Arel is just kind of looking at the rest of you going, are you coming?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm joining the hug.
Okay. So as you guys all...
We didn't leave anything at the lodge, did we?
No.
Great.
His towel. No.
Ah!
Just will always have a towel or a sheet nearby that he could potentially lose.
I have underwear, okay?
All right, so he'll have underwear.
You also
he can
should be in
potentially
ski
lose.
clothes, so
Hello?
So you guys feel the familiar experience of shifting into the shadow realm as everything turns to kind of darkness and shadow. And then you watch as the world around you seems to shift and move massively. And eventually you start recognizing a few shapes, and then the shadows start to become more physical and become more real. And suddenly you are in the center of the Tears Core compound, and it is controlled chaos. You can see tons of people are running around, and there's different groups having conversations, and some people are arming themselves, and everything is just very, very chaotic. Arel kind of seeing everything going on, going, well, that's my cue.
Where are we going?
Go to the main conference room. Kess is there. I have to stop people from doing stupid things. So, bye.
Can she do that?
Mm.
I feel like she believes she can.
Well, obviously, she believes lots of things.
She sure does. All right. To the conference room.
The conference room.
So, I have to find the right place. We can do this. All right. So,
No.
as you guys are going, again, there is just kind of bedlam and chaos going on as people are trying to figure out what's happening. You actually, as you're kind of wandering through, you actually see Lottie just kind of commanding the troops almost, where she's giving different people assignments, and she's basically using a large wooden spoon as kind of almost a directing baton, as she's kind of pointing people where to go. She sees all of you and just kind of nods in your direction, and then immediately goes back to trying to get a little bit of control into the chaos. As you guys are kind of wandering through, you eventually get to the main conference room, and you can see Kess is there with a bunch of the other kind of higher up leadership here in the Tears Core. And as soon as you guys come in, Kess kind of sees you guys and turns to them and says, okay, you start organizing the various retrieval squads. You go ahead and start getting the embarkation kits ready to go. All right? And she turns to the rest of you. Good. I'm glad you're all here. We have what looks like a crisis. Let's start off with, I know. It's nice that you've returned.
Yes, we're
Possibly
not really
permanently?
having time for pleasantries right now, so let's skip that part, shall we?
Okay. I'm assuming you all saw the tier explode.
I mean, hard to miss.
Yeah.
It was quite
That
bright.
was a thing that happened.
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing that you probably didn't see. Before the tier exploded, there was a beam of light that originated from Etsu Korimala.
Oh,
Great.
Fantastic.
That's
That makes perfect sense, actually.
went to that tier.
it. Went from one tier to that one.
From that
Kind
tier.
of. Calling it a beam of light is a little bit misleading. It was a very slow beam of light. We saw something, it shined, it went in that direction, and then a few hours later, explosion.
I
Is
mean,
it
light isn't
possible it
particularly
absorbed?
slow.
Yeah, we thought of that. Light tends to be significantly faster than that. We're not exactly sure what it was. It took them a decent amount of time to get that far. I mean, it was traveling at like normal people speeds. But yeah,
Wait, the light
That's
was
the
traveling
only
at normal people speeds.
for the most part, yeah.
Light?
It was bright. It shined. It looked like light.
Maybe it emitted light. It might have been something else. Do we
Yeah,
think
faster than people speed, though.
when we left that place, we temporarily, albeit, sort of paralyzed them for a hot minute.
Yeah, I was just going through my brain about like what we actually did to that guy. We paralyzed him. We didn't actually straight up
Well,
like.
we didn't paralyze the guy, but we cut their whole city power supply.
Mum, how long were we gone for when we were in the tier?
A week maybe a
Alright.
little more.
Yeah, I think time passed normally. This is. So, is the thought that this has all just happened and we're all still processing, but what is everyone thinking our next course of action should be?
Well, my thought was something is happening with the tiers, and I don't think it would be in anyone's best interest to go back to tier prime. Obviously, bad
Glad
things
you
happen
agree.
there.
Unless we feel like they're the source of the problem.
Well, from what you guys told me, I don't know sending you guys back. I don't know if sending you guys back there is really going to have a beneficial effect. You guys did what seems to be a blow to the
Hey, bang
them,
up job,
and-
literally.
Yeah, I mean, and then things still happened.
I agree that we probably need more information. Given that it was inevitable that we would probably visit another tier, I would recommend us visiting the smallest one next.
That was my thought too.
Oh, great.
It just, we have so little information. We don't know if tier prime is a typical example of what a tier is, if it is somehow different. We have nothing to compare. So that's why I had them get the embarkation kits. By the way, after what happened last time, we figured that maybe giving you more supplies might be a good idea. I don't know if that's going to be useful or not, but
Well,
it's something.
we were okay supply wise. We seemed to change a bit whenever we went into the tier. I'm assuming something similar will happen this time.
Yeah.
We really just had to think on our feet once we were there is the big thing. Think on our feet, where we now know we have to locate probably a giant crystal in this tier if we were going to get back. And there's
Okay.
no telling
I
how
mean,
long
that's-
that'll take.
It's something that's good.
We were not able to communicate with you guys at all while we were in
No.
that tier. So we might want to try to be as quick as possible in this one in case another slow crawling beam of light emits from tier prime and decides to blow the tier up while we're in it.
Yeah, that's absolutely a good idea. I was more hoping that you all could try some things specifically. And she goes and she takes out one of those communication devices, and she goes over to I know you tend to be the one best at recording and doing various kind of sciencey type things. Would you mind doing some tests, figuring out how things are different when you're inside of a tier, making notes and bringing them back?
As long as I am permitted copies of those notes, then no, I do not mind at all.
Of course, you'll have access to the entire library.
Too soon.
I
For a
just
brief
Too
moment,
soon.
just at that phrase, she looks like she was punched in the face, but it is this like brief like, but she says nothing. Says nothing about it. Just briefly looks like she just got slapped, and then she's like, "Yep."
and Kess seems somewhat oblivious.
Well, yeah,
to
that's just Cass.
that. She goes, okay, so this is the plan. We're going to go back to the embarkation platform. We're going to send you to another relatively small tier. We're going to try and target a tier that is nowhere near, that is not in direct line of sight of Etsukorimala. So that hopefully if they do decide to do something, they'll have to come up with something more creative than whatever they did last time.
And that's assuming, like, I would not put it past the leader of that realm or whatever it is to try and do this, but they learned so little from us about how the tiers are and how they work, mostly because we only know so much. It would boggle my mind if they were in this time frame able to come up with some kind of technology to target other tiers like that, let alone breach the barrier at all.
It
All of
wasn't
this-
too difficult for us to breach the tiers, though.
Yeah, but we have, weird DNA, so you think maybe they found some weird DNA person in their realm and
How do we know that they didn't?
had them touch the crystal,
It's
mean,
send them on
possible.
a suicide
It
mission?
is possible. It is also
It's-
entirely possible that there is something about the mere presence of the tiers that is unstable and therefore is causing cataclysmic end of world. Many things are possible.
That is possible.
Multiple things
You'd
can
have
be
to find the
possible
most
at the same
probable.
time.
Okay. When do we ship out?
Well, due to the
Rather
fact
than
that you
later.
have literally just gotten here and it is nighttime, I figured we would let you all get a good night's rest, and then first thing in the morning, we're shipping off.
Great. Okay.
For the rest of us, were you able to investigate any of the places where the shards of the tier fell before coming back here?
One. We found one. There were a bunch nearby, but we only found one.
And they are-
Otterel sort of called us back relatively quickly, so
Well,
So
we
we found
had-
out where tears come from, or teardrops.
Yes, we discovered that too. We
Found out
had
where
a few
tears came
land.
from.
It's when you're sad.
Hey,
Oh, the pain.
I'm
Sorry.
leaking.
Oh, third rock.
We
in the
had a
sun.
few land near the Tears Core and discovered that they were teardrops. So we figured it would be best if some of the members of the Tears Core were to go out and attempt to collect the ones that have fallen. So we have reclamation teams that will be going out to various places in Hyrule. Unfortunately, none of them have tier walking gems, since you were the only ones that have that. So if you guys find something similar in any of the tiers, that would be very beneficial for all of us.
You're talking
Need
if
a
we
way to
find
things.
teardrops in the tiers?
Teardrops or anything that seems to resonate with them.
Well, I mean, you remember from the briefing is that giant crystal that resonated with ours in the last one, and that was our way back. So chances are we'll have to find something that resonates
Well,
if we're going to find our way back.
Just keep your eyes open. This, from what we can tell, it seems like some of the shards of that tier that landed on other tiers seem to be absorbed.
oh,
Ah, Okay.
Interesting.
Did any of them land on Tier Prime?
Few. I mean, it's the largest tier in the sky. It
Sure.
would have been
All right.
statistically improbable for a few to not land on it. And who knows, maybe that was the goal. Right now we're running blind.
We need to gather as much information as we can before we go back to Tier Prime and figure out what's going on. Thing is, if we go back there, the way back out of the tier is so heavily protected and so guarded, and will be more so by the time we go back. We should really try to investigate alternative ways, but the only way we can do that is by going to other tiers. So,
Do you think that we're gonna have a target on our back now that now that everything that we've done at Tukoramala too? Now they're
if
gonna
we
have
go
extra guards,
back
but if
there,
they
we're
know that
going to be public enemy number one.
right, but they know that we're also not from their area, which means we might still be public enemy number one. Even they might just try to actively kind of come find us, regardless.
Okay, but I mean,
If they're able to get
I think
out.
there's a target on our back here too.
Who
So-
did we piss off here? I forget. Oh,
know
right.
that
Oh, right.
question.
The Yiga. I forgot about the
Uh-huh.
Yiga.
Well,
Oh.
and someone's family and
Yeah, all right. We'll ship out in the morning.
at least one dad.
What? Okay.
No. You don't have to worry about my family.
I think she's worried about. They're worried about their own.
Ah,
There's a lot of families, a
I'm
lot of
just
dads in
making a
Hyrule.
point
We'll
that we've
just,
pissed off quite a few people.
Most of
ship
my
out in the
mom's
morning,
pissed
try
off
to
us.
gather our strength. Is there anything else you needed to brief us on, Cass? It has been a long day.
I mean, tons of things. Unfortunately, though, I don't think it's going to be in anyone's benefit to go through all of the information we've gathered right now.
Anything that can be helpful to anything we just discussed or to exploring the next tier.
I'll get back to you on that.
Well, you have morning.
Yeah. Okay, so go get some rest. Zariah,
Mom?
can you hold back for a little bit? I just there's a few kind of things that just kind of crossing T's, dotting I's.
Yes.
That
Right. Okay, we're
Okay.
gonna go. Bye.
Yep, I follow out.
So Kess waits until all of the rest of you leave, and she comes and she sits down at the big Kika conference table and kind of gestures to a chair next to her.
There goes and sits down next to her.
And kind of an awkward amount of time passes where she's sitting there and she'll look at you and then kind of look at the notes on the table and then kind of look back.
Sarah's going to be fiddling with her braid.
So, I need to apologize. I don't know what it was that I did that made you feel that you couldn't talk to me. But it should have never have happened. I've talked with your aunt, and she explained some of what you can do. And we had a conversation that may have involved my hookshot at one point, but we're good. And I wanted you to know you know you can always tell me anything, right?
I know that now. But I was so young when it happened and I couldn't really connect. And
When you say the word young, you watch as her face kind of changes. How young? No, it doesn't matter.
that's part of it. But we didn't really have a relationship back then. You were gone a lot and I didn't really trust anyone around me. And I know how you are when you get curious about things, and I also knew how mad he'd be at Montreal, but I didn't want to be another data point for you. I wanted to sort of be your daughter.
And
And
you
not-
watch as she kind of just melts. And she takes your wing in her hand. She goes, "You were never a data point. I know I'm
wanted
not."
to keep it that way. You know, because the Shadow Realm and suddenly having, and I know it's like it's interesting and it's interesting to me too, which is why I kept the book. But you know, at that time, I didn't really know you, and so I was scared, and that sort of has stuck with me, I suppose, which is why I never really told you about it. So I'm also
Well-
sorry because our relationship has changed over the years, but I was scared.
Well, a lot has been going on recently, as you are aware.
Just a
And
few things, yeah.
felt the world that you grew up in is so different than the one that I grew up in. I mean, I spent most of my life fighting against everyone, telling me that who I was wrong, and that I needed to hide that aspect of myself, and that was wrong and evil. And then the restoration happened, and people were proud, and I was proud, and there was always that voice in the back of my head that kept saying maybe they were right, maybe I'm doing something wrong. And when you came back from Tier Prime, it felt like all of my worst fears weren't fears, they were real, and it was all my fault. And I understand now that that's not what this is. And I know I took it out on you and your friends and on the Tears Core, and it was just
And that's fine and that's understandable, but Mom, none of this is your fault. We're all curious and want to explore and have adventures, and especially growing up listening to your stories and to everyone, like it's not your fault. Nothing about this or any of our past experiences is your fault. So please don't take it that way. Please don't.
well, I'm
Because
I'm
you are a
turning
wonderful person.
turning over a new page. What's done is done.
Pun intended.
Most definitely. In fact, I've started an entirely new journal to use the exact correct phraseology. But turning over a new page is a more common idiom, so I decided to go with that. But it really is like starting a brand new journal. But that just feels. I mean, it's very good anyway.
Yes.
I want to thank you for helping me see the mistakes that I've made. and helping me to figure out how to learn from them instead of making them again. And going forward, you can tell me anything. Doesn't matter what it is.
I know that now. But
Okay.
on the same token, please do the same with the murder mom. She definitely turned on the murder a little bit higher when you don't. You know.
I mean, that's Zulta. I mean, we've been together for a decade now, and I mean, I love your mother. She's wonderful. She's amazing. And those aspects that give her the nickname Murder Mom, I mean, they're one of the things that I love so much about her.
Right,
But
but
maybe
a little
come
bit
to
more
me
conversation.
first, and then we can go to Zulta together. Maybe that's a good kind of compromise.
I mean, I'm all right with talking to Murder Mom about things because eventually she turned off the death train, and you don't turn off your curiosity. But on the same token, sorry, your curiosity, and no response. Dang.
I love the idea that Zolta's death drain is equal to Kess's curiosity in like level of danger.
Yes, that is accurate.
I know. I just love it. It makes me happy.
Well, if it makes you
meant-
feel any better,
I
the
meant
reason-
personally with you and you talking to Murder Mom about, you know, the things that are going on with you because she does care about you too. And I know that hiding things from her really hurts her. And I know she won't say that. She'll just turn on the death train and try and kill everyone around her, including her children.
No, no, not the children.
Exaggeration.
Well, to be perfectly honest, the thing that kind of helped me come to a lot of these realizations was talking with Zulta. We have been having a rather long conversation this entire time, and she helped me to realize some of the things that maybe I needed to change. So,
That was really good for her.
Can you fangirl over a ship of your own character?
Yes, you can.
You
Sure.
can now.
anyway, you need to get some sleep, and I have a lot of work to do. If you want, Zulta is still here. She seems to have fallen in love with some fish dish that Lottie has come up with. So, if you want to,
By the way, that's exactly where I thought Dilly was going to go, was find Lottie for fish.
Love this.
So,
Love this for them.
before you go, it would be nice if you'd say something to Zulta.
Oh.
She's been missing you as well. I mean, you and I have spent so much time together, and Zulta's been dealing with all the stuff with Zora and, you know, raising the rest of your brothers and sisters. Like, she feels a little left out.
Right. I mean, I was going to talk to her because otherwise, you know, I will be death drained. I will be death sparked, excuse me.
And so Kess comes over and kind of puts you in a hug, which you guys, I believe at this point, you're actually a little bit taller than her.
I don't know. Zoraya's pretty small.
Well, like by a few inches or so.
All right.
Because Rito in general tend to have a pretty decent
Yeah.
height. And so she kind of brings your head down a little bit and plants a kiss on your forehead. I love you. Remember that.
No. I love you too, Mum.
Now, go say hi to your murder mom. And she kind of pushes you and starts taking more notes.
I did give you the journal, right? About the Shadow Realm and the experience.
Yes, I have been poring over it
All right.
while attempting to not blame Arel for everything.
I mean, I put it in a very neutral light, so very objective. And it's not her fault again. She
Growth
just
takes time, honey.
I know. She was just there for me when I was scared, so don't. All right.
I get it.
Zaraya walks out.
All right.
Before Zaraya undoes everything Kestra's had to.
Yep. I mean, her
So,
anxiety has not gone away.
The rest of you, while this is going on, did you wait outside? Did you go to other places in the tier score? What are you thinking?
I mean, I went to find Lottie
Yeah, they
and
got
get fish.
Yeah, okay.
Is there like a workshop little place where there's like a workbench and a table?
I mean, Kess designed the place. There's probably like a dozen.
I'm gonna go to one of them,
Okay.
and take a bunch of the material that Dilly gave to me that was from when you guys were in the library, and start kind of messing with it further.
Like one does.
And see like what I can do to make some sort of like weapon or anything, just like to tinker around with it and see what's possible,
Okay.
what's not.
Yeah. With the amount of time that you guys have, you're not going to have enough time to get through anything to completion. But
No.
yeah, you can start kind of taking steps to maybe design a new shield through it.
Yeah.
Aino and Adesh.
Aino's going to go to her room.
Okay.
Not say a word to fucking anybody.
Makes sense. Adesh?
Adesh is also going to go to his room, be there for a few minutes, walk out, fully clothed.
Thank you
Has
for
to
clarifying.
You can never
Appreciate it.
tell with a dish.
Yep.
And
Also, fully clothed for Adesh is different than like maybe fully clothed for Aino.
yeah.
There are lots of layers. Tundra.
He's going to walk over to Aino's door and slip a note under it and then go back to his room.
Notes passed me.
Okay. Dilly, as you go looking for Lottie, you eventually again find her kind of commanding the troops, and as she sees you could come over, she just looks at you and points. And you can see at one of the tables that people are rushing around, there's a small plate with basically like a ramen with a large piece of fish on the top of it, and like an egg and a few other things.
Billy
there.
sees it, looks back and goes.
And
goes
you
and eats.
also notice sitting next to where you are enjoying a similar dish is Zulta, who seems rather absorbed in her fish ramen.
Don't scare the murder
ramen.
people. And just starts eating.
Okay. And as you guys kind of continue eating, Zulta kind of glances over and she goes, "This is amazing, isn't it?"
Oh
And she
my
kind of
gosh.
snaps. Can I have enough? Can I? Wow, is this hard?
It is really good.
Oh, yeah, I know, but just the wait staff here is just very inconsistent.
Well, do you know where the food is? Because I would probably go get myself seconds after I finish this.
I don't. Lottie just kind of looked at me and pointed. She's kind of eerie in that way, right? Like I can't be the only one that just finds that a little bit odd.
But I think that means that Lottie would be aware you want seconds and the seconds will come soon.
Baldur is very good at feeding
You're
people.
very smart.
Thank you.
So you watch as she just kind of downs the last of the broth and everything and like puts it down. And then she just kind of looks around, and because you are next to her, you can see the person come up and very stealthily take the bowl away and replace it with a new one. And she just kind of looks down and she's like, okay, I can do a lot of things. I can't do that.
Want to see how many bowls we can eat?
Oh, yes.
Dilly starts just going to town.
So over the
This
next...
is the buddy cop we didn't realize thing we really needed.
over the next probably about hour and a half, you guys go through a kind of almost stomach churning amount of ramen and fish.
Made me hungry.
Just keep eating.
Just
keep eating.
Jody,
Yes.
if I recall correctly, Johan really couldn't tell me much more than the rest of the group knew about world destruction, right? Just that they knew that it was coming.
Technically, yes. However, now that you are back in your room, you would have discovered in the pack where you keep a lot of different things, there are 2 books that you don't remember being in there before that describe the 2 most recent world-ending calamities in excruciating detail.
What a rebel that Johan.
Love him. He just snuck me books he wasn't supposed to. So before, can I? Or were you about to do something else?
No.
Okay. What she was doing prior to the note sliding under is Aino has found a little hand needle and some ink and sterilized it and made a very, very tiny singular triangle dot for day 1 on her arm.
Okay.
It's going to be a thing that I just do every day now. It's just like these very like small dot arts, but it's made out of like a triangle. But until we have about 700 something, whatever, assuming they still have 365 day years, and that's how we're going to keep track of it and not lose it.
730 days.
Yeah.
At some point, Dilly's going to stage an intervention.
You have to notice
You've
it
got-
first. It's,
you
it's
have-
going under the gauntlet.
I know. You have tracks going down your arm eventually.
It's going to end up
It
looking
is
like that
going to make
Doctor
a
Who tally
design,
thing.
Oh
It is
yeah.
going to make a design, but I'm putting that out now because unless someone sees it, her doing it, you're probably not going to notice it for a while, but it'll be like a, hang on.
I just want to be very clear that sometime in the future, if Dilly notices, there will be an intervention staged.
Fair enough. So she's going to take, she finds the note, she reads it, looks, because I'm assuming at some point during that she had unpacked and like found those books.
Yeah.
Puts like her sleeve back down or whatnot, and then goes and knocks on Adesh's door.
I am in my room waiting, fully clothed.
It's been a decent amount of time, but
And I'll open the door.
you didn't immediately notice it. It's just she
Where's the
literally
door?
hands
This-
you one of the books and says, "Come, we do the research together. It will take less time."
You
read, yes?
where?
Reading is a
yeah.
thing you
What?
do.
Where did
Brilliant.
you
All right,
get?
come. We do study session in my room. Come.
Oh, okay. We're both
Emotions
here,
later.
but we. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Where did you get this?
Johan snuck them into my pack.
So this is like contraband, like forbidden. Cool. All right.
She just hard blinks at you like, sure.
I know you would also be aware these are, what's the term? Primary copies? These are originals, I guess that's the...
First
I don't
edition.
want to tell her- yeah, she as they sit down, she says, "You will not eat near it. You will not drink near it. And if you so much as dog ear a page, I will personally remove some vital part of your body."
I don't even know what you're talking about, but I will read this book.
You do. She pulls you close through your shirt since you're wearing it. Do not harm book. Yes.
Yes.
Pet. All right, we read
yeah,
them.
Yeah, all right. Adesh reads
Not dog earing pages.
considerably slower than Ino does.
Okay. So, I know. Do you want the book on the most recent or the one before that?
I'm going to take the one before that because I feel like she's going to have more historical context than probably Adesh, so it will probably
Okay.
be easier to process.
So, as you are going through reading up about this, um, this calamity is known as the calamity of war. And effectively, what it is there's this kind of conflict that everyone is familiar with, this conflict between the hero of legend and demise, or kind of the dark force that tends to inhabit the world. Well, in that particular calamity, the conflict just kept getting bigger each iteration. Like the first iteration was one-on-one. Second iteration, they started, bringing friends along. And after, 20 or so iterations, they turned into massive, almost World War-esque situations. And the final one, both of them started looking into extremely destructive magic and the things like that. And the final
That's comforting.
aspect of that war was basically mutually assured destruction, where they both came up effectively with a nuclear deterrent, going, hey, if you do this, I do this. And due to the fact that the library had closed before the final blow, they're actually not sure who started it. But there was a massive world terraforming explosion
Oh, that's good.
that just cleared, basically etch-a-sketched all of Hyrule.
Love that for us.
Adesh, the one that you're reading is called The Calamity of Water. And effectively similar story, but every time the iteration went through, the hero of legend got weaker and weaker and was beating demise by a smaller margin, and eventually they lost. And the sages of that period, in an attempt to prevent demise, Ganon, whatever they wanted to call it at that time, from being able to kind of enslave the entire world, their attempt was they would flood Hyrule and trap them at the bottom. However, there was some miscalculations, and instead of simply trapping demise, they the initial flooding aspect was so damaging to the world that nothing survived. The few islands that they had or mountains that they had kind of chosen as places for people to gain refuge were demolished as part of the flooding process, and it just wiped Hyrule clean. And it took centuries for the waters to eventually reside and for life to kind of begin anew.
Does this compare to any history I might have been taught or known just naturally?
You remember one of the stories that you can't quite remember which realm it was from. There was
Sure.
An event called the Great Flood that flooded most of Hyrule, and the hero of, what is it? Is it the hero of winds? Is that what?
Chuck and Wind Waker Link, yeah.
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 The hero of winds came and was able to kind of deflood Hyrule.
So,
And eventually, according to that particular legend, after they were done dealing with that, they actually left Hyrule.
but that doesn't fully line up with what I'm reading here, right?
Yeah, no, this is very, very different.
Okay.
Again, similar situations, but in that one, the flooding was successful.
Sure.
And
Okay.
it just trapped them, and people were able to survive. The water calamity was, again, the pressure of the water literally kind of terraformed the world.
Sure.
And because of that, the mountains that were supposed to be safe were collapsed into the water.
Sure. Is this going to be any indication about how long ago this was?
Not in this particular book.
Okay.
This book is dedicated to just
Written in real time. Yeah.
Just describing the event and all the events that led up to it. There's nothing after the event.
Doke. Well, this one is about a fight with Ganon that went terribly, terribly wrong, basically. Doesn't seem to have any real parallel to what's going on today. Is yours any different?
Mutually assured destruction. War.
Yours is
So-
about a war that
Fairly relevant, yes.
I mean, we're not at war yet, but maybe it's
What do you think that was?
what was.
If we are assuming that Etsukori Mala is able to shoot light that causes or absorbs or does something that possibly effectively ends the existence of a tier and thus probably the world within it, that's an act of war. Not
Against-
really any more.
Well,
I mean, we didn't meet that world, but
we just
assuming if we go into one of the smaller ones and find, oh look, another world with a fully formed culture, and then yes, you can pretty much assume that was an act of war. I mean, it's
Well,
pretty cut and dry. I
destruction.
don't know how much history.
The war starts and ends in the same strike. We just know
No.
so.
I don't mean a war against that particular place. I mean a world war where everyone is now against each other. Worlds war. War of worlds. Ooh, that is a terrifying statement.
I've had this theory about the tiers for a little while, and I don't remember who first brought it up, but it got me thinking. It's not my original idea, but someone at some point mentioned if there was, this is another instance of weird time travel stuff being involved, like we read about happening in the past. And these tiers are potential futures of Hyrule. And Etsukor Mala being the biggest one maybe means it's the most likely to happen if the technology that we're developing now gets way out of hand. It becomes this dystopian nightmare. Which is why I'm very curious to explore these other tiers to see if there are potentially other outcomes as to what we do now could path. But if everything ends, then I don't know, maybe not, because that's just a reset. Or maybe just seeing the futures is what's causing it and changing everything. I don't know, because the tiers, we have to talk to Kess about this, but the tiers haven't gotten bigger or smaller. Like every choice we'd make, you'd think that would make these futures less or more likely. Just knowing about Etsukor Mala would make that less likely to happen, but it has not shrunk at all as far as we know. So
You are trying to reach a hypothesis with only one or two data points.
which is
and
why I'm so
barely
curious to go
any
into more
equation,
tiers.
so-
But I've just, since we're here studying, I thought I'd throw that out there.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Hypothesis is a necessary part of exploration and learning. But that's why you're finding yourself running into so many moments where you're like, well, I don't know if that is.
Yeah.
It's
It's a tough balancing act, dealing with stuff here, and also now we have the urgency of exploring as much as possible in a short amount of time. And we have no idea how long it's going to take us to get outside these other tiers.
Dash, was this your first hypothesis?
No, but it's the
did
one
I
I'm
help
favoring the
bless
most
your
lately.
hypothesis cherry, as it were?
No.
All right, it's all right. You don't have to be shy. I understand.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
Good
Jack's
read.
trying to- He's just
Responding.
trying to keep things as coworkers. So just
Shax
watching
has stopped
Shax
responding.
die.
Shax will not let that go. Good book. My regards to Johan. And yeah, I'm gonna go to bed.
Give my regards to your
Have fun with it.
Okay.
Oh, he will.
And I leave and do not go to bed.
Okay.
Where
So
do you go?
for the rest of
Someone
you,
else's bed. Of course.
for the rest of you, is there anything else specific you want to do before getting to sleep?
Meet with Murder Mama.
Check in with Motto after Zoraya comes to meet with Zolta. Go, uncomfortable. Okay, where's Motto?
Make her
I'm still working.
uncomfortable now. That's fun.
So Zulta has you can see Zulta kind of leaning back in her chair. You can see that she looks very content as Dilly kind of goes away, and she sees you. She's like, "Hi, honey."
Hello, Murder Mama.
Oh,
Yeah.
so did your mother talk to you?
Yeah, we talked. She talked to you?
Oh yeah, a lot.
All right. Well, I love you and that.
Love you too, honey. By the way, if Soraya, or I'm gonna try this one more time.
Adele.
If Arel permanently disfigures you again, I will ensure that her life ends in the most spectacularly painful way possible.
No, I'm not disfigured.
Disfigures.
She just made it better.
Sure.
Because now I'm like you. I can do scary things.
Absolutely. Very proud of you, honey.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm having a little trauma realization that all of Zolta's kids might aspire to be like her.
Oh no! The consequences of your own action.
So I think
How did these get here?
Yeah. I think a lot of Soraya's, besides like seeing you as protective murder mom, but all of the stories she has heard from Arel and like unfiltered stories, that she's a little bit more on the murdery side than probably the
Yeah.
other kids.
Arel has no filter.
No, it's quite enjoyable.
There's a reason Zolta kept most of the children away from Arel for unsupervised time.
Yeah.
Well, honey, normally I would say let's go test out your murdering abilities, but I am very, very full. So I think I am gonna go get some rest because we both know your mother's not coming to bed tonight.
No, definitely not.
You, however, and she gets up and she kind of waddles over to you. You, however, and she sticks your finger
She's doing-
because she's so full. She sticks her finger in your face and goes, "You better be getting a good night's rest, because take it from me, murdering takes a lot out of you, and you want to be in your best."
I will definitely take it from you. And when we get back, maybe we could test the extent of my murdering powers together.
Absolutely. Don't
ahead.
worry. I have already come up with the most brilliant, I think your mother calls it, training regime. It'll be great.
I like that. It would be good to spend some quality time together, murdering things. All right, I love you. I'm going to bed.
Love you too, honey. And as she's going away, oh, make sure to murder some people for me. Bye-bye.
Mm,
Oh, I will.
Bad
I'll write you a
people.
story. Oh,
He went
sorry.
through therapy.
Murder
Bad
only the bad
people.
people, though.
There we go.
Oh boy.
So she heads off to bed. before you guys head out, because you're taking a long rest, you have the ability to change your focus if you would like. However, you also remember the last time you went into a tier, your focus was changed. So it is entirely up to you which focus you want to start the morning with. But unfortunately, that is where we're going to end it for today. As always, if you've missed any of the episode, we do have all of the episodes here, right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Zelda Universe TV. You can go to the video section and find the entire series there if you would like to catch up. Otherwise, again, that is all for me today. And that is all for us today. Remember, tomorrow, Ilea is going to be opening more Pokemon cards.
From the newest set.
I have another
From the
Metroid
newest-
tournament match tomorrow,
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
Elias has another Metroid
Is
tournament
it at
match.
1 p.m. Pacific again?
2:30.
Okay, because last time it really confused my family when I told them I was going to stream after 1 p.m. Because then they were texting me, being like, "Are you streaming yet?"
Are you okay? Where are you?
They're like, "Are you on yet?" Yeah. So, yeah. So
Anyway.
no.
There will be cool things happening tomorrow on Twitch between Elias and Ilea. So, otherwise, again, that's all for us today, and we will see you guys next time. All right. Bye bye.